One of the issues that I was having with the van was when we get a really hard rain, I'd notice a little bit of water back here. So it kind of made me nervous. I checked this seal and it has shrunk. And I'll show you that a little closer here in a few minutes. But even whenever I pulled it up and got all this up here nice and secure, I still had a tiny little bit of water in here. So that means that this bulb seal that goes all the way around the back door here, it's not as big and hefty as it was in the beginning. So what I'm going to do is put a new seal on it. And luckily, it came in today. So let me just show you. Any of these weather seals that are for the doors or windows or whatever, they're notorious for shrinking over time. The sun and the, hot and cold, they cause that rubber to shrink up. And I've got it pulled all the way up good and tight, all the way around, but as you can see, it has shrunk over an inch and over an inch. So we've lost 2 inches of the length on that rubber seal. But the big issue that we ran into was it just isn't as thick and stick out as much as it used to. So when the door closes and flattens against this, it doesn't push it in tight enough to cause a good seal. So that's why we had to get a new one. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is, of course, peel this old rubber gasket off. You can see it's coming off really easy because this metal track in here is really loose, and it in places is even rusted. So basically we'll just discard this bad boy for now. We don't want to tear it up in case this doesn't fit. We'll have to put it back on. At first glance, this is exactly what we were looking for. And we could do a comparison. And you can see there's a big difference of how thick this is versus how thick that is. And that's the part that's going to close tight when we shut the door. It does come with these little feet on it, which I'm really glad, because I was afraid I was going to have to cut those off and re-glue them. And it even has a good sticky base. So I guess the next important thing to do is to scrape this good and clean, scrape off that, and then clean it well before we install it. Now that we've got it good and clean, the next step, of course, is to make sure that this is going to fit. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on lightly without pushing it on hard to make sure my length and everything is correct. Of course, these things are custom, for each individual van. It's not a universal or a one-size-fits-all. It's a little long. So we want to push down as hard as we can now. because we know we've got plenty of room. Okay, since I went back and pushed it tight and pushed down and made sure that I worked my way down, pushing back a whole way, it fits really well. Let me show you. Right up here, it looks like we're going to have to push up a little bit on it. But we'll come back and get all of that in a minute. See how it's nice. One of the things I really liked about this gasket over the old one is look at it how it has a seal back here as well, which is going to keep any water from getting in. It's pretty nice. And we'll just go back and secure it in there really well and tight. Okay, I went back and just really pushed hard on all of it and got it up in there really well. We've got this cleaned. So now what I'm going to do is pull this piece of tape, which covers the sticky. We'll pull it out. And we'll get that fit in there and glued down. And we'll repeat that process on the other side. Okay, we've got that stuck down pretty well. Let me show you what it looks like. It is a really good, tight fit all the way around. Laps down really well over that. The other side is the same way. Nice and tight, really good fit. The only issue, and they had the same thing with the factory seal that was on it, is if you look close back here, see that hole? So what we'll have to do is we will have to come in here with some 100% silicone, 100%, and we will fill that area there. And we've got the same thing over here on this one. We're gonna have to put some silicone right down in there. But like I said, that's the way it comes from the factory. So now all we have to do is see how well it does when we close the door. Look at that. Look how well that's fitting and pushing that seal in. That is what we wanted. All right, let's check up at the top. That's nice. That is a good tight seal. That's what I was hoping for. And it looks like we're gonna have the same thing over there. All right, there you have it. Putting the rear door weather seal on. Hey, thanks for coming along with us on this build. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And as always, we'll see you on the next one. Later.